Do you have a paranormal encounter you'd like to share with us? Send us an email with your story for a chance of it being featured on Weirdworld. In November 2004, Aimee Wagner, a 22-year-old senior from East Bridgewater, Massachusetts, sat down in the lobby of Horace Mann Hall at Framingham State College to share her ghostly encounters there. The 3-story brick dormitory, named after the college's founder, had long been the subject of spectral rumours and unexplained occurrences. Framingham State College, originally established as a women's teaching school, had a rich history dating back to the 19th century. It wasn't until the 1970s that men were first admitted to the institution. The campus layout included 3 main buildings: Horace Mann Hall, Pierce Hall and Crocker Hall, forming a small triangle at the heart of the college grounds. Aimee first learned of the ghostly legends during her freshman orientation. The story, passed down through generations of students, centred around a tragic event in the college's past. Pierce Hall, it was said, had been built atop the ruins of a previous structure that had burned down. Connecting these 3 buildings was a network of underground tunnels, originally constructed to shield female students from inclement weather as they moved between classes and dormitories. These tunnels, now off limits to students, held a dark secret. According to campus law, a fire had broken out in the subterranean passageways, possibly due to faulty wiring. In this blaze, a young woman, whose name had been lost to time, allegedly perished. Her spirit, it was believed, continued to haunt the halls and tunnels of Framingham State. As Aimee recounted, many students reported feeling an unseen presence in various rooms of Mann Hall and Pierce Hall. Objects would mysteriously be moved or misplaced, though these incidents were often dismissed or rationalised by sceptical peers. One particularly chilling incident had occurred a few years prior to Aimee's interview. An unnamed resident assistant, preparing for the new academic year, had been staying alone in Pierce Hall during the summer. On the 3rd floor, she had propped several mirrors against the walls outside the rooms. Upon waking the next morning, she was shocked to discover that all the mirrors had been turned around to face outward, despite her being the sole occupant of the building that night. Aimee herself had experienced the oppressive atmosphere of Pierce Hall's 3rd floor firsthand. During her time living there, she often felt an unnerving presence in her room. The space, barely larger than a walk-in closet, felt charged with an indescribable energy. Aimee would frequently find herself checking under the bed or behind the clothes in her closet, driven by an unshakable feeling that she wasn't alone. "It wasn't like something was going to come and get you," Aimee explained, "but there was definitely somebody else there, though you couldn't see them." She described the presence as distinctly female, not malevolent, but undeniably there. The most unsettling experience of Aimee's time at Framingham State occurred one November morning in her 3rd floor room in Pierce Hall. Having just woken up, she made her way to the bathroom across the hall to wash her face. As she looked up, her eyes were drawn to a startling sight on her upper arm. A vivid red handprint, so distinct it was almost bruise-like. Puzzled, Aimee initially thought she might have slept in an awkward position, causing an imprint from her blanket or clothes. However, the mark was far too detailed for such an explanation. Each finger pad was clearly visible, forming a handprint that was unmistakably larger than her own. "I put my own hand over it to see if it was mine," Aimee recounted, "and the fingers were much longer than mine." She also noted that her own middle finger was crooked at the tip, a feature not present in the mysterious handprint. Startled and confused, Aimee rushed back to her room to document the inexplicable mark with her disposable camera. Unfortunately, the resulting photograph came out blurry, doing little to capture the eerie clarity of the handprint she saw in the mirror. Throughout the day, Aimee showed the mark to her fellow students, receiving mixed reactions. Some were intrigued and believed her story, while others dismissed it as an elaborate prank or misunderstanding. By nightfall, the handprint had vanished completely, leaving Aimee with more questions than answers. Seeking comfort and validation, Aimee called her mother to recount the bizarre incident. Her mother, already wary of the strange building her daughter called home, was quick to believe Aimee's account. "This place is definitely haunted," she declared, echoing the sentiments of many who had encountered the supernatural at Framingham State. As Aimee's story spread among her peers, it became clear that her experience was far from unique. Other students began to open up about their own encounters with the unexplained in the halls of Framingham State. Some reported feeling watched in empty rooms, while others described objects moving of their own accord. The legend of the young woman who perished in the tunnel fire continues to grow, fueled by these personal accounts. While no one could put a name or face to the spirit, her presence seemed to permeate the walls of the historic buildings. Despite the frequency of these occurrences, many students remained hesitant to discuss their experiences openly. "Not a lot of people talk about it," Aimee explained, "because if you tell your friends, they're kind of like, yeah, okay, whatever." This skepticism, however, did little to deter those who had come face to face with the unexplained. As the interview drew to a close, Aimee glanced around the lobby of Horace Mann Hall, her eyes lingering on the old brick walls that had witnessed decades of history. The ghostly encounters she and her fellow students had experienced served as a tangible link to the college's past, a reminder of the lives and stories that had unfolded within these walls over the years. For Aimee Wagner and countless other students at Framingham State College, the line between the world of the living and the realm of the supernatural had become blurred. The handprint on Aimee's arm, the mysteriously turned mirrors, and the persistent feeling of an unseen presence all pointed to a reality beyond the ordinary. A reality where the echoes of the past continued to resonate in the present. As future generations of students would come to learn, the ghosts of Framingham State were more than just campfire stories or orientation week tales. They were part of the college's identity, a spectral thread woven into the fabric of campus life. And for those who experienced them firsthand, like Aimee Wagner, they would remain an enduring part of their college memories, a chilling reflection of the mysteries that lurk just beyond our understanding.